Let's move to our next segment where Raj is going to read to us a scene from the film Good Newwz. Before we begin, can you tell us where in the film we are?
So this is, I think it's the central conflict scene, happens in the first half, I think about 20 minutes into the film, where so far you've seen Varun Batra and Deepti Batra, which is Akshay Sir and Kareena, go through their IVF procedure with this doctor, Dr. Joshi at the clinic. It's a doctor couple. So there's Dr. Joshi and his wife, Dr. Mrs. Joshi,
yeah,
who also works at the clinic. And you've just been right before this scene introduced to Hani Batra and Monica Batra, who also have the same last name.
Yeah.
They hail from Chandigarh. And they've just come to Bombay. Someone must have recommended this doctor to them, so they've come to Bombay to get this done because they want to go to the best.
Yeah.
And Dr. Joshi is the best in the country, in the film. So you've just been introduced to this couple, and you realize that all four of them, Dr. Joshi has called all four of them together to tell them about something, and you don't know what it is. And they're like, but why have we been called? So that scene, the scenes happen right after that.
Great. Then let's get into it.
Cool. So we're in Dr. Joshi's cabin in the Joshi Fertility Clinic. Dr. Joshi gets up from his chair as soon as the four of them walk in. Dr. Joshi says, hi, please come in. Varun and Deepti, meet the other Batras. Hani Batra, Diljit's character, he quickly interrupts, takes out his visiting card and says, myself, Hani Batra, my wife, Miss Monica Batra. Your card? Monica speaks under her breath and says, Namaste ji. They greet them. Varun and Deepti just greet them awkwardly. Varun unwillingly gives his card to Hani as well. Why am I giving cards, whatever. But they give it and he's wondering why we're there. Varun all four of them sit down. Varun says, what is it about, doc? थोड़ा जल्दी कर सकते हैं. मेरी important presentation है. Dr. Joshi says, yeah, sure. He looks at his wife nervously, Dr. Mrs. Joshi, who's standing next to him. Dr. Joshi says, मैं सीधा point पे आता हूँ. एक छोटी सी problem हो गई है. Varun, Deepti sit up. Deepti says, कैसी problem? Dr. Joshi says, actually, ऐसा नहीं है कि ये पहली बार हुआ है. US में पहले कई ऐसे cases हो चुके हैं, लेकिन मेरे यहाँ पहली बार हुआ है. Deepti shouts and says, लेकिन हुआ क्या है? Varun holds her hand. Dr. Joshi says, हुआ ये कि there has been a sperm mix-up. Varun and Deepti together yell and say, what? Hani, Diljit's character says, क्या? Mixer? केड़ा mixer? हिंदी में समझाओ कोई. Dr. Joshi explains and says, please सुनिए मेरी बात. हमारे एम्ब्रियोलॉजिस्ट जो बहुत एक्सपीरियंस्ड हैं, वो आप दोनों के सीमेन स्पेसिमेन एक साथ प्रोसेस कर रहे थे एक ही टाइम पे. और क्योंकि आप दोनों का सरनेम बत्रा है, he gestures and says, mix-up हो गया.
Now this is important, right? Because you need to understand how it happened and how it could have happened. Thoda exposition you will have to put in the...
Correct. Yeah. Just a little information. Though before this in the film, we had kind of explained the procedure of IVF anyway.
Yes.
So the audience who don't know about it, know what the process entails, essentially. But here, yes, just to give a little reminder of how this thing happens. So he says, to mix-up ho gaya.
Yeah.
Hani again says, phir mixer? Hani leans into Monica to understand what the hell is going on.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Varun gets up, leans into Dr. Joshi and says, you've got to be kidding me. Are you bloody telling me कि मेरी wife इस गधे का sperm carry कर रही है? Monica looks and says, हाय ये क्या कह रहे हैं जी आप? Hani says, मेरे को गधा क्यों कह रहे हो आप? Monica says, तो मैं किसके बच्चे की मां बनने वाली हूँ? Hani says, भैंस की आंखें हो क्या रहा है यहाँ पे? Varun leaves the doctor's collar, looks at Hani angrily and explains to him aggressively and says, हम दोनों का sperm mix हो गया है, sperm. Hani says, क्या? मतलब हम दोनों का फैदा मिक्स हो गया है. हद हो गई यार, ऐसे कैसे मिक्स हो गया? ये कोई लगेज है जो मिक्स हो गया? He goes and holds Dr. Joshi's collar and says, ओ ये क्या चुतियापा लगा रखा तुम दोनों ने? Dr. Mrs. Joshi comes ahead to make Hani leave the collar. Deepti is just sitting dumbfounded.
Again, I'd like to reiterate how something so bizarre, so serious has been told to them, but we have this Diljit character who is a little confused about what's going on.
He doesn't know exactly what's going on because you never expect a thing like this to happen.
Yeah.
So he's trying to understand कि mix हो गया क्या हो गया. This is not so he's trying to
and doing it in his own funny
in his own sort of a funny way, but arising out of the fact that he's not understanding what the problem is.
Yes.
So anyway, so Hani says, क्या लगा रखा तुम लोगों ने? Dr. Ms. Joshi comes ahead, try to make Hani leave her husband's collar. Deepti sitting dumbfounded. Dr. Mrs. Joshi says, please maintain calm. अब जो हो गया सो हो गया. We're very sorry, पर Deepti, who was sitting quite so far, suddenly yells and says, shut up, just shut up. I'll sue you guys. Varun says, मेरी बहन और जीजा ना बहुत बड़े criminal lawyers हैं दिल्ली में. और मेरी wife जिसको तुम गाय समझ रहे हो ना, Deepti gives him a look. She says, वो senior journalist है. हम चाहें तो Hani holds Dr. Joshi's collar again and says, और मेरे चाचा जी हरियाणा के CM के सगे ससुर हैं. बच्चे मिक्स करवाने वाले को 15 साल तो करवा ही सकते हैं. 15 साल मिनिमम. डॉक्टर मिसेस जोशी से आप प्लीज शांत हो जाइए. मैं बता नहीं सकती हम कितने शर्मिंदा हैं. मेरी मिस्टेक है. उस दिन बहुत सारे केसेस थे और हमारे टेक्नीशियन से बहुत बड़ी गलती हो गई. Honey leaves Dr. Joshi's collar. Dr. Joshi says, मेरी बात ध्यान से सुनिए. He holds the collar again and says, बोल. एक बार और ध्यान से सुनिए बोल. फिर देख क्या होता है तेरे साथ. ध्यान से तू मेरी बात सुन. ये जो भसोड़ी मचा रखी है ना तुम लोगों ने, उसे ठीक कर. अभी ठीक कर, वापस कर मेरा फायदा. Monica pulls Honey and frees Dr. Joshi. Dr. Joshi moves closer to his wife to make sure no one holds his collar again. Dr. Joshi swallows nervously and says, सब ठीक हो जाएगा. आप टेंशन मत लो हनी जी. आप लोगों को बस एक माइनर प्रोसीजर करवाना है ताकि इम्प्लांटेशन के कोई चांसेस ना हो. हनी सेज प्लांटेशन, और ये हिंदी में बात क्यों नहीं कर सकता? डॉक्टर जोशी से मेरा मतलब इनके प्रेग्नेंट होने के चांसेस ना हो.
आई थिंक दैट वाज इंपॉर्टेंट बिकॉज़ डॉक्टर जोशी इज वेरी क्लियर, ही कैन रिवर्स दिस.
Yeah, so he's just very scientifically explaining and saying that listen, even if there's a mix up, it's okay. Before the implantation happens, we can
I'll figure you a solution out.
But he's not understanding. He's like, what plantation? What are you saying? डॉक्टर जोशी says, मेरा मतलब इनके प्रेग्नेंट होने के कोई चांस ना हो. वरुण इंटरप्शन से, और अगर ये ऑलरेडी प्रेग्नेंट हो गई हो तो डॉक्टर जोशी कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, टर्मिनेट कर सकते हैं. रेत के एक दाने जितना होता है, माइनर डीएनसी से हो जाएगा. हनी सेज डीएनसी, दिल्ली नोएडा कॉर्पोरेशन इसमें क्या करेगी? डॉक्टर जोशी सेज डीएनसी मतलब अबॉर्शन, बेसिकली अबॉर्शन. दीप्ति गेट्स अप एंग्री नाउ एंड सेज आर यू फकिंग मैड? डॉक्टर जोशी सेज मिस बत्रा, फ्रैंकली आपके वैसे भी प्रेग्नेंट होने के चांसेस ना के बराबर है. योर ओवरीज आर वे ओल्डर देन योर एज. दीप्ति सेज शट अप, जस्ट प्लीज शट अप. मेरा सर घूम रहा है वरुण, लेट्स गो. Deepti gets up and exits. Varun follows behind him. The Joshis are looking upset, the doctors. As the Varun and Deepti leave, Honey is just spaced out. Monica looks at everyone and says, हमें refund मिलेगा? The Joshis look at her in disbelief and we cut out.
Brilliant. Again, a perfect example of how a serious scene can be still humanized, dealt with comedy, and we just bring it in a little more palatable way to the audience instead of relying straight onto drama. But what really stands out here is that each character is also behaving themselves in a way.
Was the idea.
As you said, Monica is a simpleton.
Which was a writing challenge, because you know what you're doing is, I have fortunately or unfortunately have always had films where there are multiple characters in a scene. You know, so even in Jug Jugg for that matter,
lots of characters.
You have to try and so you have to try and maintain the graph of the scene, but also maintain the fact that every character in that is going to kind of behave, a certain way, and they have their own problems and in their own, So even here, you have 4 varied characters, or at least 2 varied couples in that sense, and their concerns are different. Now, this weird situation is come up, and how they're reacting. So you're right. I think the challenge is also to kind of maintain, and I've had multiple characters where you have to be very wary of their graphs and how they'll react.
And the slightly more serious graph is taken by Karina's character, where she's the one getting the most affected. So they're directly attacking her also in a way. So she's the first to get up and
because she's also, that couple is slightly older. So you establish right in the beginning that Karina's character is, of course, she's a journalist. She's doing very well for herself, very professional. She's kind of the one who's in a hurry to do this. So the first film of the scene is itself where Varun is drinking with his buddies, and as he comes back home, she says, today we had to try for a baby because today is the date, the calendar, as per the calendar, and he's just out there drinking with his friends. So she's the more mature one. So she has to obviously react in a way where she's the one who's most upset.
Absolutely.
And she's also not the loudest in the room. She talks less. So when she's given this information, she's just sort of sitting and digesting all of this through. While this whole, these characters are going at their own thing, and she's just, and then she reacts in the end, or in the middle.
Till she bursts out.
Till she bursts out and
says
that
too much
when he mentions abortion.
Saying, anyways, I'm late and.
Right.
Fantastic. So thank you so much for sharing this with us.
Anytime. My pleasure.
If you enjoyed what you saw, don't forget to hit the like button right here, right now. Share this with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to TCP Originals.